Let's have a look at calculus in the big question. So in this question, a company grows and sells plants. The function W is defined below. It can be used to model the height in millimeters of a water spinach plant for the first 35 days after it starts to grow. So that means that W, or in another word, Y is what? The height of the plant, isn't it? And then X, here we have X is the number of days. So X is the number of days. Now remember, function is always about X and Y value. So what do we need to do? Use W, so use the function to estimate the height of the water. So that means find Y when X is what? Of the spinach plant after 15 days. So there it is, they give you the value of X. Now that is very easy when they give you the value of X and they want you to find Y, because all we have to do is to replace X with whatever value they give us. In this case, 15. We replace X with 15. We put all of that in our calculator, press equal, and we have our answer, and that should be 263 to the nearest millimeter. Okay, and then the second part. So this is where they are looking for a derivative of that. So this is a good question if you haven't done a derivative before to kind of learn, because it is a simple derivative. How do we derive? Each element is derived separately. So those are the elements in our function. When I have x to the power of 1 or no power, we don't write power of 1, the derivative of that element is just the number that stands beside x. So in this case will be 0.667. When I have x to the power of 2 and x to the power of 3, we are using the first formula in our table for the function. When it is saying that I have x to the power of n, what happens when I want to differentiate it? And that power goes in front, followed by x, and then that power minus 1. So cubic will go to quadratic, and quadratic will go to linear. What happens if we have a number in front of the x? That number just crosses over to derivative. So let's create our derivative. So w prime x equal, so the first element, like we said, is just the number that stands beside x, which is 0.667, plus that 2 will go in front, so it will be 2, 1.5 will cross over, so multiply by 1.5, multiply by x, and that power 2 minus 1 will become 1. So power goes down when we are creating derivative. So 2.15, 2 multiplied by 1.5, that will be 3, and then x to the power of 1. Oh, we're not writing the power. And then the next one again. So that number that stands beside x to the power of 3 will cross over. So minus 0.025, multiply then the power, which is 3, multiply by x, and then 3 minus 1. So again, we put in the calculator 3 multiplied by 0.025 minus, we're going to get minus 0.075 followed by x, and like what we said, 3 minus 1 will be 2. So cubic will become quadratic, quadratic will become linear, or in other words, power of 3 will go down to power of 2, and power of 2 to the power of 1. And what happened with that x that had no power? So power of 1 became 0, and therefore 1, and a number taken to the power of 0 is equal 1. That's the reason why the derivative of x that has no power, or any other letter that is like x, because we know at this stage not necessary, it has to be x, will be just the number that stands beside it.